What makes a brother truly a brother and a sister truly a sister? It's a bond that's unbreakable. In the family, how do we prove our loyalty to each other? This is a story about how a younger brother demonstrates the ultimate brotherly love by putting his sister's interests above his own. As a sister, she in turn does not hesitate to give him unconditional love, even in the face of losing friends. This is her story. I was born and grew up in a secluded village in the mountains. Every day my parents worked hard ploughing the hard, dry earth, their backs bent for hours. When I was quite young, all the other girls had pretty handkerchiefs and I wanted one too. So one day, I stole 50 cents from my father's drawer. He discovered that the money was gone right away. "Who stole my money?" he asked my brother and me. I was petrified, too afraid to own up. Neither of us admitted to the theft, so he said in a stern voice, "If nobody wants to own up, then both will be punished." Suddenly, my brother took the blame and punishment for me. That night, I woke and started crying. My brother confronted me and said, "Sis, don't cry, don't worry." I will never forget my brother's expression when he spoke up and took the blame. My brother was 8 at the time and I was 11. When my brother was in his last year of school, he was accepted into the high school in the centre of town. At the same time, I was accepted into a university in the same province. Father sat down in the yard and said, "Both of our children have good results, very good results." But Mother wiped her tears away and sighed. "What's the use? How can we possibly afford their education?" My brother stood up and said, "Dad, I don't want to continue my studies. I have read enough books already." Father became angry. "Why do you have no ambition? Even if I have to beg for money on the streets, I will send you two to school." And then he began knocking on every house in the village to borrow money. I reached out to my brother gently and told him, "A boy has to continue his studies. If not, he will always be poor." I, on the other hand, decided not to continue my studies. Nobody knew that the next day before dawn, my brother left the house carrying just a few clothes and some dry beans. Before he left, he snuck a note under my pillow which said, "Sis, getting into a university is not easy. I will go and find a job and I will send the money to you." I held the note with tears running down my cheeks and sobbed. With the money my father borrowed from the villagers and the money my brother earned from carrying cement on his back at a construction site, I passed the 3rd year of my university course. That year my brother was 17 and I was 20. One day while studying, my roommate called me and said, "There is a villager waiting for you outside." I walked outside and saw it was my brother. His face was grimy and his clothes and shoes were covered in dust, cement and sand. But I was so happy to see him. I said, "Why did you not tell my roommate you were my brother?" He said with a smile, "Look at me, what would they think of you if they knew I was your brother?" I brushed the dirt off his shirt and looked into his eyes. I told him, "I don't care what other people say, you're my brother no matter what." From his pocket, my brother brought out a lovely butterfly clip. "I saw the other girls wearing them, so I got you one. I hope you like it," he said. That year my brother was 20 and I was 23. After I married, my husband invited my parents for a visit, but each time they refused. They didn't want to leave their home in the mountains. My brother said, "Sis, you just take care of your in-laws and I will take care of Mum and Dad in the village." My husband became the director of a factory and asked my brother to become manager, but my brother rejected the offer. He insisted on working as a repairman instead. One day my brother was on a ladder and accidentally got electrocuted. He landed up in hospital. I grumbled, "Why didn't you listen to us? Managers don't have to do dangerous jobs like that. Now you are suffering from injuries." He turned to me and said, "Sis, my brother-in-law is the director. I am uneducated. If I become manager, people will gossip." My eyes filled with tears and I said, "But you are uneducated because of me." That year he was 26 and I was 29. My brother was 30 when he married. At the ceremony he was asked, "Who do you respect the most in the world?" He immediately said, "My sister." Then in front of all the guests he told a story from our childhood. He said, "One day I lost one of my gloves. My sister gave me hers. When we got home, her hands were blue from the cold. From that day on, I vowed that I would watch out for her as long as I lived and be good to her for the rest of her life. Once again, my brother proved his undying love for me. It touched my heart deeply, and I felt incredibly privileged and proud to have someone as kind and loyal as him for a brother. Our brother-sister bond is unbreakable, and I will cherish it always. Everybody needs real affection in their lives. True love is a sacrifice. It's a vow to love others unconditionally, and therein lies its sweetness. Brothers and sisters stick together through thick and thin. Agree? Leave your comments in the box below or click to subscribe.